Tonight, it's a trip to the Windy City, as this evening, the MRL and its Caswell Glass Company Series heads to the Chicago Street Course to attack downtown Chicago for the SRI Performance 155 here on Green Flag TV. I'm Justin Prince, alongside me is James Noonan. Our producer this evening is Dustin Olwitz, as we get all set to go for racing again around Grant Park. While in real life, the racing hasn't happened here for the past year or so, there are rumors it could come back. But tonight, Mystic Racing League is here tonight, trying to keep things different and put the drivers at the edge of their seats as they attack Chicago Street Course tonight, James.
Yeah, this is definitely going to be an interesting one. A couple of good overtaking opportunities as we see the opportunities coming up here. A handful of different styles of track. Obviously, the Daytona International Speedway a little further off as well. We're going to hit Watkins Glen, be right back to the street courses, if you will. And it's going to be a roller coaster of a ride from here on out.
Keep in mind, Watkins Glen is your cutoff race, essentially, for this year's chase. If you want to compete for the championship, you better figure out how to drive at a road course with 2 of the last 5 before the postseason in left and right situations. Tommy Ryan's looking very good amongst those coming into tonight. But remember that storyline with Ashton Crowder. He is eligible per race officials to make the chase if he gets above the cut. Guess what here, James? He's above it now by 5. And there's a chance he goes even higher here, especially with some of the drivers in various different situations, to say the very least. Tonight could really shake up this order.
Yeah, definitely could. And obviously, we've seen how good Crowder is, for example, at the Montreal circuit earlier on in the season. And of course, Crowder has been beaten to the punch a couple of times. And I'm expecting a serious race here as we pick up with the team standings.
Take a look at this, though. Accelerated Motorsports, as a group, have now taken over the team standings lead for the first time really all season from Unacceptable Racing. It had been Unacceptable Racing at the top of the board for so long, but not anymore. Waterforce Racing is close to the back end of this battle as well. Need to close up an 80 points to get up to the team standings lead. So as that's a look at your standings for tonight, these drivers already took part in qualifying for this evening's festivities. Look at the intervals. It's over half a second for the pole tonight for Ashton Crowder, who's in a Ford this evening. Trent Dinkle makes an appearance for the first time this year in MRL competition. He's in second. Then you have to go a near second and a half to Simone Kander alongside Ricky Paz at the top 4. Tommy Ryan is here tonight inside the top 5. Dustin Lewis, he had an up and down in Portland a while ago, and 6th he is tonight. J.P. Phillips and Jacob Cochran amongst those in top 8. We're already 3 seconds back of the pole. Zachary King and Andrew Job are in your top 10, James.
We're picking up one of the drivers who is very, very far up the grid at the moment, but 11th starting tonight, Christian Barnes in the 27 alongside Gavin Hinson, another one of the big hitters in 12th. 13th is Dominic Rossi in the 7. Morgan Cook of Canada alongside in the 79. 15th is Adam Holston in the 48. Jeff Ryan alongside in 16th position. Reggie Kime in the number 9. We're now 9 seconds here off of the pace for Kime. Brian McCann alongside in the 6th. In 18th, other drivers not able to set a time here. Adrian Schumacher in the 93 alongside the 14 of Dave Billings.
Douglas Wysocki also is in the category. He's right now right behind Joshua Gillen in your order tonight in the 2 car. Brandon Ward is amongst those on the track for tonight alongside Zach White. And rounding out the field is James Sturdivant, who will start at the tail. Now, it might be a possible start and park situation for Brandon Ward, as Morgan Cook, who is to be race control much of the season, isn't filling for the 79 car tonight. And it could get interesting how quickly things go here. James, first of all, 50% fuel tanks for tonight's action here at Chicagoland instead of the normal 60%. Second, the first stage is only 10 laps. The second takes us to 25 before we get to the end of this 45-lapper.
Absolutely. Talk about a sprint here, JP. This is really going to need to get done here as soon as possible. Either Crowder trying to get away from the rest of the pack. We'll see if the start is good for everyone. Obviously, street courses, it can all bunch up, especially on those outer sections of the corners, as we have a look at all 12 corners of the track.
Take a look at the track map. Remember, this did have one change after its initial run here at Chicago Street Course, but it was essentially built through iRacing, remember, because it got the first appearances during the Pro Invitationals, was developed during that time prior to getting the real world race off the ground by 2023. It's going to get interesting where the passing opportunities come from around this track, though, whether it's up South Columbus Drive or better yet, some of the drivers setting things up through 3 and 4 before you get to East Roosevelt Road. In our words tonight, it's a hard track to pass at, but if you know how to put together a solid tempo and keep the tires underneath you, you can make some momentum build and passes here eventually.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what the drivers are able to cook up here in the Windy City. Also that sweeping section on the far side of the circuit through 9, 10, and the approach to 11 can be of use to some of the drivers who will be, again, looking for any opportunity, JP. If there's any kind of open door, you know they're going to take it.
What are your keys to win this race tonight?
Well, I think I might have to steal from you there, keeping the tires underneath you, staying out of trouble, which, as you can see, just look how... I mean, we're 2.5 lanes, and these cars aren't small, these O'Reilly cars. This is going to be, I believe in the early stages, a race of attrition. I believe in the later stages, just trying to keep those tires in check, and how you're able to keep your opponents behind, as we see, again, that approach down to 11, through 9, the left-hander, 10 to the right. And obviously you want to swing out to the left side to get a good approach, but that also opens you up to an attack from the inside. I think we're going to see a couple of moves down there.
Let's find out how things go tonight. We're happy to have you with us for tonight's coverage of the Mystic Racing League, the Caswell Glass Company Series. It's Crowder in command on the left side. It's Dinko on the right side on the run through to turn 1. Green flag is out. We're underway for the Windy City. No crashes to start things off. Crowder already clear. And the Team Conti machine of Dinko gets himself clear as well for the second spot. First side-by-side is for fourth, where Kander's driven by Lewis already.
Timon Kander in the 92 getting quite a good jump there. And it's still relatively single file until we have a look here at Hinson, a very shallow line trying to keep it out of the barriers as they all file through. And it seems to get narrower and narrower as we go here. This really, really is not a lot of room to work with. Now we have one of the larger parts of the circuit, and they're still too wide.
Some of these drivers not taking the patience, if you will, to say, okay, let's settle in for a couple laps. No, no, no. If you want to make up spots like we've seen with Holston, a few of the others working their way through East Congress Plaza Drive and working their way past some of the structures over here. But still some of the feistier areas, Rossi was seen there, but the race lead is not running away to start yet. Bit of saving here possibly. Crowder, he had the speed and quality, but he's keeping things close. Speaking of close, here's Schumacher in filling for the 93. He's amongst those who just got around Jeff Ryan.
Schumacher doing quite well in the early stages. Drivers just looking to get any opportunity they can. Relatively well behaved. Beginning against Jeff Ryan again. Holston, the 48, able to get around the 3 as well, as we have a bit of a half look into turn 1.
Got to be careful with some of the moves, right? Because if you do a wrong move, you can absolutely wreck somebody. And it's a tight track with it being a street course. There's not a lot of room for error in the first place. Interesting enough, though, Dinkle, who is a strong driver for the Conti Camp in official series competition, is one of their team drivers. Keeping things steady isn't filling tonight in that 81 car. Usually River Hayes drives that machine, remember, in this series. I mean, it's not a bad driver at all to put in. It right now is already proving fruitful with the fact he's keeping toe-to-toe with your leader to start.
Absolutely. These top 7 in particular are looking quite strong at the beginning. We see how bumpy it is. See how little margin they have to take. Oh, as we're on board, a slowing Jacob Cochran, the 51, might have some issues.
See here, went a little deep. He's already been drifting through a couple of the corners. Sets him up for Tommy Ryan to pass by and takes him out of the groove.
And once you're offline, it's so hard to get back in.
And so as they all settle on down and we keep an eye on some of the battles around here, lead still stays within half a second or so. But see right now behind Cochran, things are queuing up. Gavin Hinson, JP Phillips, Zachary King, Christian Barnes, Brian McCann, all within range to attack the back of this 51 machine. Still no passes made in this queue yet behind them. Ricky Paz has just had an issue. He's disappeared all of a sudden. So then all of a sudden the 91 is back with it after his technical issue. Oh, well, Cochran hits the wall, and this is bundling everybody up.
This is most likely going to get all the drivers around, and it is a serious, serious bit of contact there for the 51, already dropping outside the top 10. I would not be surprised if this is going to be... Oh, man, that has knocked him out of Plan B into Plan C there, and that is right hand down in the worst way.
Might be Plan P, Plan Pit, because that car does not look like it's handling too great now with the left side crushed in. It's already lost at least 3-4 spots as a result of the left front being destroyed on that machine. Zach White just got into a crash with Dave Billings, by the way. It's at the back of the field. It was because Billings spun around and Zach White out of the corner destroyed his entire front nose because Billings is around. And then welcome Kart 77.
Tries to check up, not able to get it clear. So we have a little bit of a tail out there for Cochran, who's hustling that car around quite well, does not elect to come in. And it's just going to keep on putting in the laps for the 51. And giving up a lot of time. The round goes Schumacher. And I believe that is going to be, again, 51. Just trying to hang on to that as we get a replay here for Zach White.
I mean, he was committed on the line. Give him that. Problem is, there was a car there. Brandon Willards just had to park the car. He had already damaged the race machine. Mentioned he'd likely be in race control here tonight. He did turn a couple laps and proceeded to destroy the race car, apparently. That in mind here as Brian McCann looks for 10th. A few of these drivers just trying to make sure they get stage points amongst the top 10. The 6 amongst them now in the red machine, making moves.
Brian McCann looking quite good. Zachary King is the driver that they just overtook. The one machine quite comfortable up in the points. Again, as you said, just trying to get some decent stage points if they can make up basically just one more spot. I guess they do need to get that spot back from Brian McCann. But King, one of the contenders for the chase, as we spoke about earlier, coming up in 5 rounds. Now having a look here at Dustin Lewis. This is for fourth position here. We're looking at the back of Candor.
Black Dominant Enterprises machine of Lewis. Looking around still in the 88. And look at him. He's not afraid to use the bumper. Remember that the actual referred to in Portland? Got a little bit of physical there. And physical this time. And right now, Candor, who definitely made his presence known, just surviving. By the way, hearing that things are going to queued up here too, because the pace last time by was 135.6s. You know what the leaders are running? 132.4s.
Wow. Have a look here. Morgan Cook
Hold on 1 minute. You can see how much that Candor does not want to let Lewis through. Lewis trying to use the outside, and they nearly wreck it. Tommy Ryan getting stuck in the queue, bumps Lewis out of the way, locks it up to let him gather it.
Candor had the composure on the outside, or apologies, on the inside, let them have it, knows that there's a right-hander coming up. And now way off the pace there, Andrew Schob trying to get it back in line as Tommy Ryan not able to capitalize on that. Quite surprised that the 99 wasn't able to slip through. They kind of had a choice of the left or the right. And it looked like the right side might be the way to go. And oh, and there's a shot. That's why. 88,
yep.
All in the way.
Yeah, the 99 definitely give it a shot. And by the way, Cochran has destroyed the race car. He's blown the motor. So Cochran, who is slamming into multiple walls trying to get down pit road, has decimated his Chevy. Let's see why. Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness.
By the way,
Jinx.
Lewis is through.
Lewis up to 4th position. That looked like a wall strike as well. Was that Candor on the inside wall there? And now Tommy Ryan's going to try to capitalize on this as well, and straight to the inside. Nope, no overlap at all. 99 still trying to buy their time. There it goes. Late on the brakes, large braking zones around the Chicago circuit. And there are all kinds of sideways in these traction zones.
Yeah, a bit of a bobble this time over the bridge, over the railroad tracks. By the way, it was Lewis that also added damage to his front end after the pass, that time through 4 or 5 onward. We'll have to likely get some repairs done if he wants them, or fast repair. In about 5 laps time. Stage 1, halfway through, by the way. Ashton Crowder is still maintaining up at the front for those curious. Leader has pulled away by 2 seconds, including half a second in the pass sector. Dinkle, last year's B Open champion, still holds on to second.
There's zero margin for the walls here. Crowder and Dinkle up at the front. Crowder with absolutely no margin. Ryan McCann no margin as well. And Andrew Schob showing some good pace here. Catching up to Candor, who's fallen off the back of Lewis and Ryan, but still having a good showing here in the Castle Glass Company Series. But Schob is all over the shop.
Schob able to squeak through, and you can tell that 92 is not looking stable. Have to adjust something, brake bias or something. The rears are not keeping him stable under braking at all. That Ford's been bouncing everywhere. Some of the others are jumping into the line. This includes Hinson. So far for Hinson, only a +3, but slowly but steadily picking up positions here in car 39. Hinson, 5th of the points coming into tonight. He's looking, he's sending, and is he passing? Just about, because Candor's in the wall. Still not clear.
Still looking good. Oh, it's so close here. Again, it's almost a single file, unless you force it, which they are. 39 still hanging out, still has the preferred line on the inside. Doesn't really have to brake as much, just send it. A little bit of a tap from the 92, but 39 does not bother. Hinson through there, and Candor losing more spots, and there's 3 queued up behind as well. Phillips, King, and Barnes on the way.
Ricky Paz attempting to flip the stage. He rolled through a bunch of pit stalls of note on his entry. See if that's an issue for later, but the 91's taking service. Phillips had to back out of it because he's the next in line trying to pass by the 92. Again, all for 8th. Zachary King holding back Barnes, who got pushed out of the groove himself.
Drivers again trying to go for any kind of gap that they can find. Very, very optimistic, I would say. Some of these outside moves, they can work, obviously, but the driver on the inside has to allow you a little bit of room. And if you really trust the driver on your outside, or on your inside, rather, there's a little bit of a inside move. Brian McCann trying to squeeze on by. And again, Shobe has hit the wall more times than I can count. And there's almost another one, but they're having to slow up so much in that 45.
Yeah, he's damaged the left front as well. That's partly why he's struggling a bit here. 2 laps remaining. Pit road is closed. Ricky Paz is essentially the only driver that's really made a considerable effort to attempt to flip the stage, although Jacob Cochran might be a candidate for that. Agent Schumacher rolled through pit road and took some service also for a bit. That being in mind here with this battle you're seeing, the 6, when he's made appearances this season, has been pretty solid. Right now, McCann focusing on, can he make the pass? The answer is, with the Water Force machine, yes he can, as he zips by with his left side damage also getting exacerbated by the hit there. By the way, Crowder has reached the back of the lead lap. He's already found the back of the Billings. Next up is Zach White, who is trying to survive.
Battle here with King. Oh, that's all out of shape there. The 92 and oh, that left front's not going anywhere. 79 as well.
Caution.
Morgan Cook.
They had to throw that. Track is blocked. Track is blocked. Cook, Kander, couple others. That is the stage being thrown. Dominic Rossi also picking up a meatball flag. And just like that, we end the stage a little bit early. We still have to roll to the end of lap 10 officially.
I'm impressed the 79 is even moving there. Obviously, still hanging on at 13th. So a perfect side wall strike. And then we're going to try to get right back into the race. We're going to try to pick up Barnes. And there's 2 cars on the scene. Morgan Cook, the final one there. And again, the 79 lucky to be running there. Sofa News machine. Yeah, and not get a meatball. Just trying to figure out what kind of shape this car is in. But disaster for a handful of drivers.
A rare race control how to make a ruling on the road course. The Canadian and Cook didn't have much time to react, did he?
Yeah, it would have just been basically locking up that right front, or actually probably the left front, and turning a bit left, had to turn out of the corner and onto that escape road, basically. Would have been the play if you had known what was about to happen. Even if you knew, it would still be kind of a hard maneuver.
Oh my goodness, Jacob Cochran got an air meatball flag, by the way. He just got the other one fixed. This would be under yellow. He crashed.
I have a theory. On the entry, there looked like no rotation on the brakes into 1. The right rear was still scraping along the wall, potentially maybe too wide into turn 1, and not able to get the car to rotate. And finally, when we went in, let's see, the right rear is still stuck. Straight in.
And that's probably his race right there, as one of, I think, would be actually your first DNF of the night. We'll speak to him in a moment. But here is your top 10 as they'll come across here. Ashton Crowder, Trent Dinkle, Dustin Lewis, Tommy Ryan, Brian McCann, Andrew Schob, Gavin Hinson, JP Phillips, Zachary King, and then Christian Barnes are all your top 10.
Action-packed. A lot of action. Some of it's been excellent to watch, the battling, especially through turns 9, 10, and 11. And some of it has been just, again, kind of the race of attrition we talked about a little earlier, just trying to get to stage 2, basically. And then from stage 2, I guess the goal is just to get to stage 3, and then once you get there, you can try to turn it up, add a little bit more risk. Right now, I think the game plan is just stay out of the walls, and if somebody really wants to push it, you may have to give up the spot just so you don't give up everything.
Stage 1's complete. Why don't we check in with your likely first DNF of the day, since we still have a lap until we get to pit stops. Jacob Cochran, you have a copy.
Yes, sir.
What happened?
I'm not sure what happened, honestly. Something happened with my pedals, steering wheel, something, and hit the wall. But not the day that we were looking for, that's for sure. But I am not the road course guy, and so I'm gonna help the team, and we'll see what happens.
How was the preparation, the first place coming into this week's action?
With these cars, not a whole lot. I've prepared for the AA cars a lot more, and they're just so different. And like I said, it's just a little different, and really kind of more so focused on helping the team, and it ended up ending the day.
Well, once you get back to your team, thanks for the time, Jacob.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Jacob Cochran taking time to speak with us here. Send him down to his team, as obviously don't want to wreck before the end of the first stage, but that is his situation. Ricky Paz, remember, is amongst those who flipped the stage, like we will second on the front, but there is a potential issue for the 91 here. Remember, if you have connection issues, James, race control, if they warn you once and then they see you have the issues again, could send you to the back. Ricky Paz has had tech issues for the past 5 to 10 laps, give or take, in the 91 car. One of your contenders last week from Nashville for the Cup race.
Yeah, they'll obviously need to try and get a handle on that, do whatever they can. Again, running in a decent position. Of course, that could all be changed here as everybody piles in. Anybody staying out? I would not imagine so. They all rumble down pit road.
Come in for the fuel unless you flip the stage, which is going to happen with Paz. Maybe, yes, indeed it is for Schumacher. And that's about it. We do have Kander staying out this time, but I believe he took the repairs, so it would be sent to the tail anyway. But as expected, the majority of the field at least taking some rubber, put on their cars, get some fresh Goodyear Eagles, make sure they're ready to attack the track for the second stage. As Crowder, not sure why he checked up there right to the green cone, but he did with Dinkle, Ryan, McCann, Schob, Hinson, Phillips, Rossi right behind him. So again,
interested to see. Apologies, go ahead.
I was about to say, under caution here to start, getting ready to start off stage 2 as the trees showing all their foliage. Coming up to 1 to green. And on that note, Joshua Gillen did not pit and will stay out on the racetrack here. Let's see if we can check up with what's going on his call. As race control makes its calls, Joshua Gillen, do you have a copy?
I got a copy.
So, question, are you good on gas for this stage since you stayed out here?
I am not.
So why did you stay out?
Man, I'm just hanging out trying to learn tonight. I'm not trying to mess nobody's race up or anything like that. I'm just enjoying my night.
So in other words, you're testing to see if you can stay up at the front.
Oh God, no, I know better than that now. You should know better than that.
Okay. So
I am no road course person.
Gotcha. But overall, how would you describe the challenges, the preparation for a return to Chicago? Because they aren't racing here at rear world this year, so there isn't as much rear world data points to potentially reference to for the Chicago street course.
Man, honestly, this Xfinity car or O'Reilly's car, whatever you want to call it, it's just really hard to run at this track because, I mean, it's like anytime you get in the throttle, tires try to spin. So if you're not right in the right gear, you're gonna go for a ride.
Once you get back to your group up above.
Thank you.
Joshua Gillen. Decides to now pit. I think we talked him out of it.
I think that's right, JP. Head down pit road there. Interesting that's what I was thinking was gonna try to test. Oh, as we have a kind of a slow. Are we not good on fuel to the point where he couldn't make it to his box?
I don't think he realizes he didn't stop in his box.
Can't imagine he would have run out of fuel and not been able to roll.
Just got a penalty because he entered a closed pit, by the way. Or he did get fuel here, so Toots got cleared. Either way, we're getting to the restart. It's going to be a pit until they get set up for the choose/double up. Ricky Paz, Adrian Schumacher, Ashton Crowder, Trent Dinkle, Tommy Ryan, your top 5. Followed by Brian McCann, Andrew Schob, Gavin Hinson, JP Phillips, and Dominic Rossi. All in your top 10 for the upcoming restart. They have just given a warning to Candor saying if you do any spins, please be aware of your surroundings, is the warning to Simon Candor in his second start of the season. In other words, they're throwing the book at the 92 if he does anything wrong here, James.
Yeah, they're definitely going to try to make sure that everybody else is able to get, well, obviously the 92 as well. We want everybody to be able to get through. Speaking of which, Ricky Paz again having what looks to be a smidge of technical difficulty again. Obviously, we are under yellow. And so again, for the safety of the other drivers and for Ricky as well, right? If you have a disconnect, you can pop up anywhere basically and cause issues that are basically unavoidable. It's going to be quite an interesting start. I got my eye on Gavin Hinson here, Justin. Hinson running really well in the 39 at the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve earlier on in Canada. And I think Hinson looks quite comfortable, as you said earlier on, marching up the field. I think 39, along with the 44 of Crowder, might be the two to watch come this restart.
All set to battle it out. Drivers who were at the front of the field in stage 1 will be in row 2 with the 2 who flipped the stage. Attempt to keep the track position here. Running again to lap 25. Schumacher, here we got in front of the 91, coming up to the restart box, waiting for the green. There it is, green is out, back underway. Paz, the votive machine, looks to hug on the inside. Schumacher deeper in the brakes on the outside. Do they stick through the corner? Crowder at the very least sticks his way for a chance to clear for second. Still trying to bring that Hokie sports machine clear.
Tommy Ryan has an excellent opportunity here. So does Crowder, both on the outside. And if the 99 can stay there, it'd be a good look around the outside here. Nothing doing for Ryan, has to fall back. Crowder's through.
Crowder's through for second for the time being. Schumacher falling down to third. And keep an eye on how this is going to go for a couple of these drivers here early on in the run. Dinkle showing the nose on Schumacher. Schumacher, plenty of space given. All this is wow. Look at Lewis being aggressive again.
Zachary King looking really strong, making up a spot there. As the battle for the lead here is really picking up. Ricky Paz trying to hang on at the moment. Interesting to see the lines here. Look at the bounce there. Absolutely all over the shop. And these drivers, as they've said there, those live axles on these O'Reilly cars, very, very lively. To come out of the final corner. What kind of traction do they all have here? Be right on board with Dinkle.
81 just trying to work the wheel, if you will. Trying to find a way to keep things steady in the course Right now, Dinkle watching, though, as Crowder crossing up and down and everywhere with Paz, still not able to find a way alongside. Back up a battle starting to form up with these three, to say the very least. Paz, driver who is very talented going up to the collegiate series back around the mid-2020s. Looking to defend still with the motor machine. He's got Crowder showing the nose, though, not close enough to send. We're coming up to 10 to go on the stage this time by. As look at the run. Here goes the 44 to the left.
Around the outside here into 7. And Crowder may lose out here. A little bit into the wall, and the Ford 44. Dinkle picks their pocket.
Definitely did there. And the 44 falls down to P3. Dinkle able to capitalize there. Paz is backing this field into a bit of a traffic jam, if you will. This point of the run already. Not too much space to get alongside. It is that type of track, but it takes a while to get the work done. Tommy Ryan trying to find a way to gather up. Hearing Dominic Rossi having issues. Let's see what happened. Well, that would definitely break the suspension, wouldn't it?
These left fronts on these O'Reilly cars have not been enjoying the walls of Chicago, I can tell you that much. It has really, really been tricky here. We've seen Paz. Paz is getting excellent entries into these corners. As we see here, the 81 trying to slink to the inside. The entries for the 91 are fantastic. The exits are really all over the place, and hitting those apexes or getting as close to the inside wall as possible. The 91 is not quite where the margins are for the 44 and for the 81 of Dinkle. But in terms of the entries, which is where you can really get the pass done, the 91 is about as good as anybody we've seen as a bit of a wall strike there. And here comes the 44.
See the send going deep, making contact. Paz keeps it straight. Dinkle now under attack. Back and forth they go as they all rumble through. And here we go again. Tommy Ryan's through.
Great, great move by the 99. That was really opportunistic. Very, very patient. And we'll try to join this trio at the front here. Schumacher looking quite good. A little bit tail happy, but has some decent exit purchase. And speaking of exit purchase here, Crowder may be side by side come the braking zone here into turn 1.
Still trying to fight it out. Trying to find a way to go. Still side by side they work. Got him this time. Crowder's through. It's Ashton Crowder to the race lead again. Oh, and contact for second. Bit of a loose moment for Paz as Dinkle gets through.
81 and the 91 right next to each other. Dinkle has to go now and has done so. Trying to stay in the wheel tracks of the 44. Paz putting up an enormous fight. And now the top two, at least on pace so far in this event, are out front once again in the same order. Ricky Paz, again, really putting up a good fight. And Dinkle really had to go as soon as possible to try to stay in touch with Crowder.
So Ricky Paz will try and hold on to track position here after the call. He's about where he was running before. Still in a decent spot now if he wants to with the fill-in tonight to try and maybe get some stage points here. But outside of that, some of the air conversation points. McCann's now up to 6th. You have Schumacher maintaining his plus 14. So some of the calls are working out well, in particular for the 93 here, who's been able to keep himself pretty solid in the Waterforce car.
Yeah, 93 definitely running quite well. Waterforce, one of the top 3 teams in the championship as well. Looking quite close. Obviously had that swap earlier on. And I'm noticing the rear of the 99, Tommy Ryan, tons of speed, and does not have a lot when it comes to the exits, and always, again, basically kind of lane changing off the exit, trying to keep the rear end behind the front end. obviously hustling as hard as possible, has some good pace, but that does not look like a ton of fun to drive.
It absolutely is a handful and a half. You could say at the very least with the way things are looking at steadily driving here. So you've got to find a way as a driver to be able to stabilize the car, make sure you minimize the tire wear, make sure you're able to drive a solid race car as Lewis contact. Lewis, oh, and Dink goes around. Caution flag is out. And people are screaming on the radio, we have to stop, we have to stop. But the situation, try and steady down, and it looks like we're calmed down. Let's see what happened first with Lewis.
King is going to almost go into the wall here. King is around our outside. There's a bit of a bump, and both cars basically slow to a crawl to stay off of the wall there. Very, very close. Oh, man, this is going to be a little bit of a worse, or a better angle, but a worse feeling here. Oh, the Mountain Dew car comes down the inside. And King is just inches away from the tires and then the wall.
So chaos abound, if you will, as a result of that incident. And as let's see what happened to Dinkle. Said himself he felt like he lost talent there, is what he basically said in the chat. And so, what do we do for this caution? Let's see what happened with the helmet. Heavy, heavy load.
Yeah, you can hear the lockup as well. Basically, everything kind of goes a bit quiet. The revs drop dramatically. That rear end did not want to. Basically, you want the rear end to go left as you turn right to try and rotate the car. It's really tight. Oh, no. On board here with Paz. Here we go, Justin. Gonna hang a right, and there's the 81.
Nope. And that caused a heavy lick to Ricky Paz. Now he's got damage on both sides of the front end of the race car. It's not looking great now for the 91.
Maybe it straightened it out.
I don't think that's how it works.
Duly noted.
But again, this entire field will have to think, do they come in for stops now, or do they wait to the end of the stage? Because it's going to be an interesting spot, remember, on the fuel mileage in theory. 50% tanks. Usually the full tank's about 35, 40-ish here with this track. So realistically speaking, you might be able to make the distance on gas if you wait to the end of the stage for fuel. If not, be close. Might just see a lot of these drivers say, you know what, we're going to keep it here because they're, mind you, it's only 3 tires set to the pits. They've already burned up 1. There's essentially only 1 spare if really necessary, if that, on a road course.
It's definitely leaning toward probably saving that extra set and just staying on out. Yeah, well, here comes Dinkle. Maybe there's a little more to the damage than we were thinking. Oh, yeah, you can see it is more deformed now with that angle.
Yeah, you had to come down.
Yeah.
Justin Lewis.
Oh, and it's gone straight through.
There's a lot more boxes.
Oh, apologies.
Here. At the start and finish line, they don't have boxes on top of the line here. But Dustin Lewis also came down. Remember, he's taken some licks to that race car a bit, as well as the drivers at the back of the field may as well come in, I guess. Try and get some service done there. But we're at 25 to go this upcoming time. That was a quick stop, 7.5 seconds. Believe fast repair might have came into play because you have that available here in this series. And so, right now, as things stand, the top drivers looking to keep things steady, and most teams keeping their cards close in hand for their comms tonight, as per usual. But overall, as a few drivers get more repairs done, you have to remember there's plenty of action coming up when it comes to here with Green Flag TV, as well as the MRL in general. Of course, Slim Chickens has the racing action coming up on V-Speed tomorrow. But of course, you have to remember, the pressure is on for a lot of different series to score points. Speed Cup Series, that's actually starting in 5 minutes. They're having a super speedway race tonight. Be sure to tune in at Echo Park Speedway for some speed. And then on Sunday, Blazing Pedals returns. They'll be at Pocono Raceway for some truck action, 7:30 p.m. start time. High Tide, meanwhile, goes left and right as they follow the iRacing official schedule from this point forward. High Tide will be a 9 p.m. start on Monday. The Silver Fox Racing Late Model Championship continues on Tuesday, meanwhile, for a 7:30 p.m. start, while PSR is at North Wilkesboro on Wednesday. Meanwhile, the Beer League will keep on going throughout the Wednesday nights. They're at a 9:25 start, remember, for that series. Look at some of the upcoming events here on Green Flag TV as we are quickly approaching halfway in the race and the end of stage 2. By the way, EOL penalty, Trent Dinkle, as a result of the cause of caution. So the 81 will have to go from the back to front challenge from this point forward if they want to get some good points for River Hayes and his team and the owner points.
I would double underline that word challenge. Definitely going to be a tall order from here on out. We've also seen how there are plenty of opportunities to pass, but keeping the car in check is really a handful, as we have looks like a penalty there. The 79 Morgan Cook in 16th.
Close pit. That'll get sorted out. We are at 1 to green. What's been intriguing the most to you here in this race now? We're coming up to a 4-lap shootout. What's been something you kept an eye on here with the way things are gone tonight?
I think the confidence is obvious just watching a car for 2 or 3 corners. I think that lots of drivers, I think it's about half and half. Some prioritize the exits, some prioritize the entries. Obviously, the closer to the walls you can get on entry, apex, and exit, the better, without losing any kind of control. We've seen a lot of, not necessarily lockups, although we have seen our fair share of those, but drivers just going deep, trying to push, understeering, getting tight, and striking the wall, which in turn causes you to potentially, in the next couple corners, lock up and get tight, and guess what? Hit the wall again, making it even worse. So the same way that when you find a flat spot on a tire when you lock the wheels, these cars seem to obviously react poorly to any damage, and that front end is so important. If you can just keep the front end in line and just kind of, even if you're chasing the rear, we've seen Tommy Ryan in the 99. Tommy Ryan has been chasing that rear all day long, it seems. The 99 does not look comfortable, but it's been fast. They've been using that speed, using all of the available grip on the front end, forcing the front end in, and then forcing the rear to just try to get back in line with just a handful of opposite lock. That seems to be working.
Drivers are being told to get ready to double up. We still have 22 cars running, by the way, for those curious. And right now, it's Crowder, Paz, Ryan, Schumacher, McCann, Hinson, Schob, Phillips, Kane, Barnes are your top 10. Are you ready to get the bubble wrap belt once again, friends? We'll find out. It's about all set to go. It's going to be interesting if Paz is going to be able to get a response to the 44. But if anyone else does, they're going to have to catch up on the outside, though. Paz zooms up, and that actually may be smart. It got him to the edge of the bumper. Spun the tires, though. Tommy Ryan all over the rear of Crowder. Can't figure out the braking point. It's 3 wide behind as King squeezes in. Contact with Schob. There goes Barnes. There goes the field. Is the flag gonna come out? Not yet. They're still wrecking, and they're clear.
Dominic Rossi involved in that. Barnes at the tail end as well. 2 excellent starts for Tommy Ryan, and Zachary King is still sideways in the last 4 corners. Zachary King has been 45 degrees.
Somehow, some way, that they all kept it green. That being said, 3.5 laps to go. This could have easily been caution with the amount of cars spinning here. It's got to be close. Right there, 1, 2, 30 bits of contact. Candor getting a hit as well. I think that gap up the middle is the only reason we didn't get a caution flag.
Definitely an escape road of sorts being made. We're seeing another lockup. That was a left front lockup by Jeff Ryan. Falling back to 14th, make that 15th. I think the Candor got around there. There they go. Candor as well on the outside of 9.
Playing different lines once again. Jeff Ryan getting a little bit feisty here for the spot again for 14th. Ricky Paz, meanwhile, he's already lost about 3 seconds. Quick run away for Crowder to say the very least here. But Paz wants to get the owner points for that 91, having fun. Better to Barnes, who's just trying to survive at the back after all that contact and the spin around, not in position for points. Dinko, by the way, he is already to 12.
Able to make hay while the cars were sideways out of turn 1. And still trying to, that looks like Zach White there, 77 on the exit of 1. Getting passed by Dominic Rossi. We're picking Dinkel back up. As you said, JP, flying through the field, still has a lot of work to get done. We're about halfway through the race here. And Dinkel seems to have the pace to hunt down just about anybody at this point in the race. That 81 is on rails.
I mean, it's an expectation here when it comes to Trent. He's worked as well, not just with the Conti camp, but also with private label team Hype, which has been a team that's appeared in open wheel. It's one of the better driving teams. Meanwhile, here's Candor. The 92. Don't know if he's been having fun. You can see right there on the checkup effect. 1 bit of contact to Barnes, hits the second car. Pit road's closed. Pit road is closed this time by. So everyone has to stay out for 2 more laps. There goes Dominic Swazaki letting go. Christian Barnes, that was for 17th. But Dinko's recovery, could see him actually still get the top 10 here. He's just got to go pretty quickly here. He's got Lewis, Holston, Scholl, Phillips amongst those in a queue. There's a spin to the background, by the way, as everyone keeps on going. Meanwhile, at the front of it, been an interesting one for Billings.
Yeah, getting loose there on. Oh.
And
are we going to sling it? Yes, we are.
Would you believe he's got no damage still on the race car, even though we got nosed in the front end at one point? Dinkel.
Wow.
He is still not finding a place to go yet on these cars, getting bundled up quickly.
Here's an opportunity. I don't know if we take that, though. There's no space, and you're not going to be able to sling around the outside of the 88. Going to have to wait till the inside of 11. There's 9 here, 10 here. We're going to try to sling to the inside, potentially. And there we go, down the inside. Is the 80 going to give us the space? They're going to try to go wide. We both have a little bit of a tank slapper. Lewis is not on the better footing. Dinkel maybe through here with a late lunge, and 81 is still not clear. I believe we have got them.
Dinkel gets clear. Lost a second as a result, though, as we're on 1 to go in the stage. That might cost him a chance to pick up a stage point for the 81 owner's point situation. Joshua Gillen's already saying, "Can I get the caution now?" on the radio. No, is the answer from race control. But Ashton Crowder, he has put on the rocket boots. Now that he can just push, 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 he went up by already about 7 seconds for your race lead.
Really, really impressive stuff there from Crowder. Obviously, he's run well on other street circuits. Meanwhile here, looking at Tommy Ryan, or apologies, Brian McCann's looking at Tommy Ryan. The number 6. JP, you said earlier on, running quite well. And the 99 has some pressure. Haven't seen a lot of pressure put on the 99 this round.
Aaron Jeff Ryan is stopped on the track, but that doesn't matter for Crowder. He takes the green-white checker flag from Barney. Ricky Paz holding on to second. Here's what happened to 3. That's a good reason to stop. And Barnes amongst those able to squeak through. Schumacher was in 3rd. Tommy Ryan, Brian McCann in the top 5. Gavin Hinson in 6th. Zachary King, JP Phillips, Schob. Dinkle does get 10th, right past Holston at the line. And so our second stage is complete. And now we have 20 laps to go. Here's a look at how Dinkle made the pass. Last corner chance. So Holston actually got the outside wall here to slow him up.
I was going to say an opportunistic move. It looked like it might have been too far back. Thought there might be contact as well. And nope, it's just, again, trying to have that composure. Had a point in hand, did Holston, and not able to keep hold.
So Crowder work around the track, catch up to the pace car as soon as he can. So far, 20 of the 25 complete. Led by him so far this evening. It's been well in his control, it feels like. So
Certainly has.
So at this point, how do you beat him? Because the undercut didn't work. What else can you try?
I mean, the trick is obviously finding his line. The other trick is being able to run that line at the level of risk that he runs it. He scrapes the inside walls. Obviously, the outside wall is a bit more forgiving. See the 911 there leaping into action. Crowder runs the inside walls in particular closer than anybody else. That includes Dinkle. That includes Tommy Ryan as well. Ryan is much better on the exits, it seems. Crowder seems to be strong everywhere. I think that when it comes to that kind of pace, I think that staying out of trouble and hoping for a mistake is what I would look for. Being in the right place at the right time, and if there's any issue from the 44, obviously with this longer run, maybe lapping traffic potentially. There's all sorts of spaces where there's just no room. Even if it's lap traffic, trying to run through there too wide is going to slow both drivers down considerably. Potentially capitalizing on that when it comes around, but the 44 really has something else at the moment. Dinkle, again, in 10th at the moment. Going to try and eat into the lead, or at least eat into the points. 44, I'm not sure if there's anybody who has an answer. We'll have to check here and see. Potentially Tommy Ryan, if they're able to continue to drive around that rear end, might be able to get a decent restart and make their way up through, but at the moment that 44 really does look strong.
And so pit stop should be coming up in just a moment, by the way. See how things look for the fuel mileage too, now that we work. By the time we get back going, should only need about 16 laps or so on the gas tank to have to make it to the end on green flag laps. And if it's a caution, it can definitely help on that mark. By the way, one driver a lap down who is still running, Joshua Gillen. Get the free pass when they all come down the open pit road, this time by.
Always good to get your lap back, no matter the series, no matter the group, but especially at a road course like this where it's not a 25, 30-second lap. It's significantly more, so always good to get that advantage or reduce the disadvantage. And again, right here, something like this. Crowder coming to the pit box, obviously well rehearsed. Make sure they get in there, get them up and down, and send them out. Doesn't look like there's any issues, but those are the kinds of things that the execution has to be spot on to win. Have a look there. Is that a Virginia Tech? I can't quite tell who the figure is on that 44.
That'll be Coach Franklin that's now part of the program this year. Football coach.
No, I'm not up on my Hokies football. Didn't quite tell who that was there.
He was the former coach at Penn State. I think that went over your head. Okay, Dustin Lewis, though.
I was mesmerized by the trees.
Well, Dustin Lewis, fuel only. Morgan Cook, staying out? Question mark? Okay. So since he's going to be broadcasting tomorrow in this series, as we get sorted, why don't we check on the why? Morgan Cook, this is the broadcast booth. Do you have a copy?
I gotcha.
Why did you stay out?
Oh, we can make it.
You can make it.
Oh, yeah.
Do you feel confident you can hold back the Hornet's Nest, though?
Oh, not a chance. No. But that's the fun of it, right?
I guess so, but how would you describe the challenges here coming up here on the restart? Because you have Lewis, who just took a fuel only. You have Dave Billings, who stayed out. Not sure if he's going to come back to pit road. And then you have Crowder. So you mentioned not expecting to hold things back, but how do you feel the race could go here now that you try and keep the track position here for the first time tonight?
Yeah, I mean, as long as we don't get run over. I mean, this car has been fine. It's been, you know, between the walls and everything has been great, except for when drivers pull out in front of me into a blind corner. Then we have troubles. But, I mean, we're just going to come out here and we're going to do our thing, and whatever happens, happens. I'm not worried about it.
Any predictions for when we were in the broadcast booth tomorrow?
Track's bumpy. Probably people get some walls. I don't have much else for you.
Why don't you get back to your team?
Thank you.
Morgan Cook is in race mode. I've discussed this before with him because I can discuss things with him if he's in race mode and he will not remember it by producer mode by tomorrow.
It just gets flushed.
So he is your leader. Dave Billings did not come back down to pit road, so he will stay out in third. Check that. He is letting, I think he's asked for any loan, is letting everybody go. This could get a little bit intriguing for him. We're not sure why you stay out here, James, and drop to the back anyway. Unless you're on tires.
Not sure there. Obviously, the opposite going on for Cook in the Sofa News 79 there. Interested in what Crowder's plan is when it comes to clearing. It seems like with the amount of pace that the 44 has, it seems like Crowder is able to pick their moment. Trick is trying to clear the cars and not, as you said, the Hornet's Nest, not to have to do any fighting at all. Trying to get a bit of space to pass who's going to be right next to them. And trying to get up next to Cook, next to Lewis, get this pass done, if it's going to happen, as soon as possible. So that they're not involved in any quote-unquote racing. They're just able to try to put down fast laps like they've been doing all day. I'm interested to see how hot under the collar Crowder's going to be on this restart. If he goes full tilt or if he tries to play the long game, the patient game, and opens themselves up to potentially a couple cars trying to slide down the inside. Why not?
I mean, why not indeed? Should get the double up command coming up. No.
I think Morgan Cook has passed their optimism to me. Why not?
Let's see what happens when we get to 16 to go. Cook, Lewis, Crowder, Paz, Schumacher, Ryan, McCann, Hinson, Phillips, Dinkle, Jeff Ryan, Holston. How they're set up amongst the top 12. Cantor's up at 13th. So buckle up. This is going to get pretty interesting. That 79's been involved in 1 or 2 incidents already tonight. Let's see if Morgan can keep it clean. Up at the front, filling in tonight for Tucker the third. Pace car is off. Oh, Lewis jumped before he did. Back underway. And an interesting start to the run here. Cook falls behind. Paz trying to take over second and does. Crowder 3 wide, 4 wide on the squeeze.
Tommy Ryan gets down the inside. Around the outside is the 93. And Schumacher making it a race as well. And a close call there. Jeff Ryan trying to almost make it 4 wide unintentionally. This is chaos here on this restart.
Jeff Ryan moved out of the way there. A few hour drivers still going. Back of the field to Cook already. Back to 13th. A few of these drivers trying to sort out where they're going. Lewis is now the leader over Paz, Ryan, Schumacher, Crowder. Now the 88's first led laps of the night. Take a look at some of the air battles going on. That includes some sends for Cook into the door of Holston.
Getting testy here. Oh man, Zachary King on the outside. We know how this ends normally. Any kind of a cutback doesn't lead the front end in there. There's no space to go deep on the brakes.
No penalties for the start, by the way. No penalty for Lewis, and Paz nearly spins it. Paz nearly into the Arby's wall, and he's able to hold on to it up across East Jackson Drive. Lewis now with a bigger lead. Ryan looking for a place to poke. Can he try and take over second here on a road course? Here's a look at the back of the field. By the way, we mentioned Jeff Ryan already having an eventful one outside the top 10. Just cut off the 45. Rush hour traffic on a racetrack. Right
Pass
now.
here closing in on Dustin
come
Lewis.
on. He's in the wall though. Look at that wall slam, and he's busted something. Has nearly broken ankle coming out of the corner. Tommy Ryan to second. James.
Hope that 91 is able to turn. See what kind of slowdown it gives the 93. If anything, no, it gives a little bit of a shot to the 99. So it's Lewis, then Ryan, then Paz, then Schumacher. Crowder still not able to make a move. Oh, and Ryan almost around. Ryan and Paz get together.
Right now, Crowder trying to get through all of this with Schumacher dancing. The Rob's Custom Wraps car nearly spins it, but it's the 44 of Crowder up to 4th. 15 laps to go, coming up 14. Dinkle's also coming on through the pack. Kander is also trying something. Did he take the advice to adjust the brake bias? We'll see. Right now, this is all to say, Lewis is surprisingly doing well here, because for him, this would be, to say the least, a solid performance. He's appeared in only 4 races so far, the 88 has. continuing to maintain the lead over Tommy Ryan by 2 seconds. Lewis hasn't even gotten a top 10 in Caswell Cause Company Series competition this year.
This would be a mega event for them. Tommy Ryan, though, 4 tenths and closing on this lap there as Hinson gets the 81 down the inside. There's just no margin on some of these drivers when it comes to those inside lines, and some drivers are leaving about a foot and some change. And the 81 on a mission. No issues at all for the approach. No issues at all on the rear end. Looking very strong. Tommy Ryan now within 1 second of Dustin Lewis. Tons of action. We saw Paz, Ryan, Schumacher. Dinkel's going to try to join this party as well. They were battling away, and that allowed allowed Dustin Lewis to get away a decent bit. But now they are back with the race leader, and this is basically a 5-car fight for the lead.
Yeah, this is getting pretty feisty now that the gap's closed up. Jeff Ryan down pit road after his damage situations. 39 here in almost spun. Hinson still holding on to the top 10 though. But this lead, how do you protect it now? You got to do it for good 20 minutes. A little wall contact is not how you do it.
I've seen 2 or 3 times that Tommy Ryan has kind of followed a car into a mistake, particularly those kinds of sweeping right-handers. We have a handful of here on the Chicago street course. Crowder now looking more impatient, I'll say, and potentially down the inside of the 99.
Here he goes, a little bit of contact. And Tommy Ryan, the points leader, now with a bit of damage. Pushed right behind Ricky Paz. Crowder up to second. And now it's time to try and see how well your blocking skills are. Because Crowder's already to the bumper of the 88. Here he goes for the lead. He's got it.
He's on him.
He's got it. Crowder's got it. Race lead, Ashton Crowder.
Now, what does Lewis do here? There's a decent amount of space back to Tommy Ryan with that issue a little bit earlier on. Ryan's running strongly. Schumacher's in 5th, going with them. So Ryan has their mirror full. Dinkel's on the way as well. So for Dustin Lewis, what kind of fight can they put up as around the outside? The 88 hangs on, so it should get a much better exit. Potentially Paz may fall back in line. I'm not sure if there's an overlap. There is.
Yep, look at this end. Paz is through. And so maybe will be the 99 in a moment. Tommy Ryan, better drive off, and Lewis, his 5 moments of leading are done. Crowder leading now by 3 seconds.
Dinkel had a really early braking zone. McCann tried to make a move down the inside. 81 able to soak up the pressure. Dinkel knows that they're fast. Dinkel knows how to put the pressure on the other drivers. They're waiting for slam dunk, no problem maneuvers if they can get them. I think that's quite smart at this stage with so many laps to go.
A little bit of a bobble again. Right now, these rears are not looking comfortable. Dinkel attacked by McCann, nearly slammed into. Dinkel clear. And the tires are not allowing Lewis to even drive straight. Those rears are gone.
Incredible. I cannot believe the 88 did not spin. The amount of times going back and forth, it must have been 6 or 7 catches in one moment. McCann around the outside of the 88, and now McCann into the wall. Here comes Schumacher, make it a 2-for-1 into turn 3.
Zipping on through and clearing on by. Let's see what looked like for Lewis. Straight away looked all over the track.
we went full throttle right at the end before we had to brake. But we probably had about 20
Caution.
feet worth of.
Caution. Christian Barnes. And he was stuck in the middle of the racetrack. That is huge. And now what do the drivers do with the tires sent down pit lane for some?
I guess the question is who has the tires here? The 27. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, you can see why they had to call that, because if he backs up, which he did right there. See the next car? You can see if Morgan Cook did not see that, would have flown into the door.
I don't think that Race Morgan would have appreciated that happening twice in one event.
Pure? I think he's already realized something was going on. And by this point, caution would be out, and Barnes would be off and away. So, as Billings gets the free pass, possibly. No, he crashed. We have no cars who will be the free pass. Race control just realized. And so, now, here's part of the situation. Dinkle went for a third stop already. Dustin Lewis a third stop. Zachary King a third stop. Christian Barnes a third stop. Some of these drivers didn't take sets every pit stop though. A lot of drivers do have a set here. Do you use it now, James? Or do you keep the track position? Mind you, we did see average over the past 5 laps drop by a second or so.
I think at this stage, oh man, because it's right on the money. It's basically stage 1 again. I think it depends on how you're doing. I know that's kind of a politician answer. It's right in the middle. Basically, if a handful of drivers, and there's no way to know who's going to come down. If a handful of drivers come in, I say take the loss, get the fresh tires. You got confidence, keep it out of the walls, eat them up on exits, hard into the braking zones, and pick your way through. And it probably won't be the cleanest run of the line anyway. Drivers going side by side, losing time that way. Eat into the lead in front of you and run a good race. I think Crowder feels confident with the pace. I think that some at the front don't want to lose that track position. Even if they have fresh tires, they won't gain back where they are now. So I think doing your personal math in your head of, can I get back up to this position or better, based on having fresh tires versus not. I think there's plenty of time where fresh tires will really make a difference. We've seen Dinkle and a couple other drivers. McCann's also come through quite well. Hinson's fallen away. And Crowder comes in.
No stop for Paz. And he might regret that call. He's the only person in the top 9 to stay out. Andrew Schob is the next one. Oh boy. You also have Zachary Kane, Adam Holston, Reggie Kime, and Jeff Ryan all staying out. And we have a few with the top off. Tommy Ryan, 5 seconds in the box, will also jump ahead. So Ashton Crowder will have to start in 8th.
Well, this is going to seriously shake things up. Some Chicago traffic here as we're seeing Kander still in the box.
I think I just heard a call on the radio, too, about a collision under caution. Trying to sort out what happened possibly there. As Morgan Cook did get damage picked up. Checked up for Christian Barnes and then got hit by Dominic Rossi. Can't tell.
That's what it looks like.
That, yeah. There was a checkup off screen right here. That might have actually been on Cook hearing. He's still in the box.
Yeah, both Rossi and Cook well over a minute in there. Oh, yeah, that's a much bigger hit. From the first camera angle, it didn't look nearly as hefty, but on board, that really shows you that was no glancing blow.
And so, now becomes the huge question. You see where these drivers are going to stand, about 7th for the first driver who topped off. Do you think Paz could hold on and pull off the upset here? I don't know if it'd be full upset, but I mean upset in comparison to Crowder, who had a 7-second lead at stage 2's end. And looks like they gave the penalty to Dominic Rossi, not Morgan Cook, by the way, for the contact under caution. Joshua Gillen also got an EOL.
Doing more mental math here, having a look at Zachary King, who has been very feisty. King hasn't always had the pace compared to the other drivers that they have started with. On restarts, been decent, except for the last restart where they were almost sideways twice. But King has had some fantastic racecraft. And I would not be surprised if the 1 is in the first spot probably the exit of turn 2 here. Seen Holston feisty as well. Reggie Kime hasn't been up in the top 10 to my knowledge today. The number 9 has a good opportunity. And of course, obviously, Crowder in 8th. And guess who is just behind Crowder? The 81 of Dinkle. They found each other again. I am fascinated to see if they can. It's not even cat and mouse. It's if Crowder makes a spot or if Dinkle makes a spot, if they want to try to stay with each other and get it to the front, do they get separated, or are they able to kind of follow through almost like karting, where you've got a line of cars? I'd be interested to see how that dynamic plays out between the 44 and the 81.
So this will be a pretty hyper end to this race, possibly, with Paz, Shob, King, Holston, Reggie Kime, and Jeff Ryan all rolling the dice, all hoping to get some big points. Tommy Ryan, Ashton Crowder, first down pit road. Tommy Ryan fuel only. 44 took tires. Dinkle, Lewis, Schumacher, McCann, Hinson, and Phillips. Part of your top 14, we still have 20. We're on the lead lap. Gillen's the only driver laps down yet again in this one. It's been an interesting one tonight for tonight's coverage of the SRI Performance 155 at the Chicago Street Course. You're in driver's left, taken by Ricky Paz in the 91 cars. We are ready to fire when we get down that front straight away.
This is going to be a spicy one, Justin. I think this may be one of the spiciest restarts of the day, obviously at the sharp end of this one. And I think Ricky Paz, if it all goes sideways, literally or figuratively for Paz, trying to lose one spot, I think is fine, as long as you don't lose 5 or 6, which I think is also the potential here at this restart.
Here we go, Ricky Paz looking for a good restart. They're off and away. Clean run for the 91 this time, at least at first. But Shob, keep it low, and look at the contact. The Ryan's making some contact. Somehow, some way we survive. Shob is in the race lead. Here comes King getting loose.
King almost up there on the inside of Paz, down into 4. Hard on the brakes, less space on the outside. The 91 slings it in. We're still in there. A couple of wall strikes, and Tommy Ryan is going for 4th position on Adam Holston. The 99 3 wide into turn 1. Gets away with it. Has good brakes, and look who's right behind Tommy Ryan. It's Crowder and Dinkle trading spots.
Crowder trying to find a way to get something sorted quickly. Tommy Ryan gets loose. Schob is pulling away. King gets loose in second, right in front of Paz. He gets turned around by Holston. Around goes Crowder. It's a pileup, and the caution flag is out. It's a parking lot as the field parks it right before East Congress Plaza Drive.
The 81 has done a half J-turn. Oh, it is just absolute pandemonium. My goodness, there's just no space at all, and they're trying to do that 3-point Austin Powers turn. And now Ryan has gotten going there. Where are they? 11th position after such a promising start. Meanwhile, out in front, it's Andrew Schob.
This it would be another upset possibly, and then some. It's a car that hasn't been up in the front as the leader really much of the year. Now, let's see what happened. King somehow holds on, and then right there, parking lot.
Ricky Paz able to scoot through there. We have seen, let's check this out first.
Oh my goodness. Look at some of those hits. Hinson got a hard hit, a couple others. I think Dinkle is wounded. So now it's an upset party.
Lewis on the inside of Hinson, and Hinson's going to go airborne. Here we go. Up and over. Up and over the hood, I should say.
Heavy contact for that 39. Holston has already towed the car from it. Here's another look from above. And all you can say to that end is, with so many fast cars involved in contact here, what do you even do? We might see a few fast repairs have to come out. But here's the thing, if you come and take the repairs now, you're not winning this race. If you're, say, a Crowder, but at the same time, your car might be broke in the case of the 44. Do you take the points, or do you risk it for the win?
It may not even be that decision. I think that is a fair question there. I think that the idea is if the car is broken enough, I mean, it only takes one lockup. Again, the top two in the race earlier on with the championship leader all together, and Holston just spinning like a top. Zachary King, of course, the first car kind of involved, if you will, with that. And again, drivers just trying to do that 3-point turn just to get back going. Try to keep their spot in line. But back to the move with King going down as Paz almost down pit road, but not just yet. We see sometimes with drivers that will try to do a heroic move, and it's not so much a heroic move as it is a big lockup down the inside, and you kind of maybe afterward you claim that you meant to do that, but King just looked like they were trying to defend. Broke really, really late, and basically we're left hand down into a right hand corner, trying to keep the rear end behind. And a spectacular, here we go, so we're gonna have a look. So again, we're trying to go defensive, and we just get all kinds of locked up. It looks fantastic off board, and then we just get helped all the way around there. And then from here, we're just watching this craziness here.
Pure calamity. Only 2 cars came down pit road for that, by the way, this time. 3, actually. Tommy Ryan, Reggie Kime, Zachary King. Holston with the last time by. Every other car elected to keep it out no matter the damage. So Schob and Paz may have the best cars left on the track, with so many others absolutely decimated for downforce.
This really has turned on its head here, Justin. I really cannot tell who's going to take this one. I cannot. I mean, again, all the mental math we're having to do here, trying to figure out who's got the upper leg, who's got the advantage here. I think by turn 4, so obviously you had the left-hander of 1, the right-hander of 2, sweeper of 3, and the approach to 4 and 5. I think the turn in for 4 and the exit, that's going to tell us who's healthy and who's not. That fast right-hander is only possible at 100% racing speed by a healthy car. Anything less than that is going to send you, first of all, you're going to be about a foot or 2 off of that inside barrier. The next thing that's going to happen is you're going to hit that wall.
I'm going to try and get the information on potentially what could be one of the upsets of the year here. Shob can hold on. Shob this year has had just 7 MRL starts. He hasn't gotten a win in any of them. And he's looking to pull off what will be a big run here. Mind you, he's got a couple of top 5s this year. But those runs recently in the series would have came in the Legend Car series, his most recent top 5, as well as a run in ARCA competition. 1 to restart. Clouds are settling over the track. Not expecting weather because it is stock cars. But it's a 3-lap dash. Paz already picked up a win last week in the Cup Series. Can he get it in the Caswell Glass Company Series 2? Or will Shob pull off what would be a surprise for 2026?
This is really going to be something else, no matter which way this goes. Even if we have someone who's already gotten a win, Paz, Crowder, all of these drivers behind trying to look for spots, I think whoever wins this obviously will be extremely excited. Now, this section here, on this restart, coming through that entry and onto this section, this is going to be the determining factor, and then the exit onto this main straightaway is going to be the result of how healthy your car is. You can be 5-10 miles an hour off the pace coming out of that corner down at the far end of this straight, and you can lose a handful of positions as they'll be bunched up, obviously, for the restart. I think that is going to be one of the make-or-break moments that Shob, Paz, Crowder, Ryan, Schumacher, Dinkel all have to nail. Even if the start isn't perfect, you can go 3 wide into the first corner. I think the main thing is the 3, entry to 4, exit of 5. I think that's going to be the make or break.
So as the skies turn green, reset your top 10 one more time. Shob, Paz, Crowder, Jeff Ryan. Your top 4, Schumacher, Dinkel, McCann, Barnes, Hinson, Lewis. Your top 10, Zach White has a chance to sneak away a top 10 also. He's in 11th. A 3-lap dash to potentially decide the winner at the Chicago Street Course. Can the 45 do it to get his first win of the year, or will Paz get another win in the MRL? The SRI Performance 155 comes down to a few miles. Shob in control. Gas is off and away. Paz got a better start. Tire spin for the 45. Crowder already on the back end of the both of them. Ashton Crowder looking to pop the bubble. Dinko 3 wide, gets around Jeff Ryan. Restarts under review as Shob drops down behind Paz already. It's Crowder looking for second.
Crowder got the run on Shobe while defending from the 81 of Dinkle. Here they come, side by side for third.
Spin behind for White, near contact for second as Dinkle took a look. Now Paz rolls his way back along the straightaway up South Columbus Drive. They work. Paz trying to go to the outside. Crowder still looking for a setup with a lot of damage. Look at some of the drivers at the back of the group. JP Phillips squeaks his way through. Restart is good. Crowder to the outside for the race lead. He's looking for the power. Paz on the right side. Can't make it stick. Contact for second. It's Dinkle and Paz. Paz holds on while Dinkle squeaks his way to P2 again.
That second is going to be very hard to make up there. Dinkle, again, we talked about this earlier on. Crowder and Dinkle, two of the faster drivers on the track, and Dinkle's trying to go with Crowder. He doesn't want to let the 44 out of his sight. Ricky Paz able to hang in there, but Crowder around the 91 at this restart, and Dinkle trying to go with them. Couldn't get through as cleanly. So again, Crowder goes, I have to go. I have to take this opportunity, and just forces it all the way through. Able to get it done, but man, oh man, some tough racing.
And so, despite everything, Crowder's up in front and Shobe is dropping back quickly. Contact again. The 92 continuing to make friends with the door. Oh, wow. Schumacher slides his way to fourth to hold on in front of Shobe. McCann looking for a top 5 again. There goes the 92. He's in the wall with a blown motor. That could have bring out a flag. Not yet.
Joe tried to answer back to McCann. One of the harder braking zones on the circuit there. Schumacher getting away from this pair as they battle it out for fourth position. Job still at the sharp end of the field as we're going to pick up this action. Oh my goodness, we lost it immediately there. Oh, and King involved as well.
We're coming up to the white flag already. This time by the way. Two favorites in the race. Somehow, some way, with all the contact, are still 1-2. Crowder with the advantage over Dinkle. 1 lap to go. Paz, yet again, in third at the end of a stage. And despite everything, your three favorites in line are back 1, 2, 3. Shobe still trying to hold on to fifth, but McCann's got the preferred line. The 45 clears, nearly spins it again, side by side for fifth.
Surprised that if Andrew Shobe wasn't able to get to the inside, at least try to make that a little bit trickier for McCann. Potentially an over-under, nothing doing there. The 6 has more pace. Shobe had a bit of position, but it wasn't to be. And now half a second has been pulled on Crowder in basically half a lap since we started this final lap.
Paz surviving, if you will, in third position. But the field already coming up to the final sector. Tommy Ryan looking for a top 10. Phillips trying to hold on with the bobbles. Looks like the 99 will let himself on through with Phillips having issues. But for Ashton Crowder, not the way anyone would have drawn this up. He's already in the conversation for the chase. Likely going to be a championship favorite because already in the 5th time, it's Crowder to victory lane. This is now 5 for 7 to start his time in the series. Dinkle has the top 3. Schumacher, McCann in the top 5. Shobe, Hinson, Barnes, Lewis, Tommy Ryan, a part of your top 10. I don't think that's how we expected this race to go tonight, James, but the winner was, at least, what many would have predicted. The driver with the NASCAR experience, showing eNASCAR-like pace, even with a demolished 44.
Yeah, I would not want to look too much at the back of that car for sure.
He's got a long way to run his way around. Dinko's already towed the car. Take a look at the results for now, as it's a lengthy cool-down lap. Crowder over Dinkel, Paz, Schumacher, McCann, the top 5. We'll speak with the top 3 in a few moments' time. Andrew Schopp came away 6th tonight. He had a chance for the upset, lost that chance off the restart. Gavin Henson in 7th. Christian Barnes will be in the 8th position with Dustin Lewis, and Tommy Ryan does get a top 10.
After all that, the 99 in the top 10, just outside. Zachary King in the 1 had a couple of scares. That car made it to the end of the race, thankfully, but not quite where they wanted. Jeff Ryan up in 3rd at one point for the 3, down to 12th in the end. JP Phillips 13th, 14th Morgan Cook, 15th Adam Holston, 16th is Dominic Rossi. Then it's Kime, Wysocki, Zach White, and Kander.
21st went the way of Joshua Gillen, 3 laps down, with Dave Billings 11 down. Jacob Cochran, Brandon Woodward with the other starters, both of them early DNFs here in this one. Look top to bottom at your race results here tonight. As we can tell you this, car 44, Ashton Crowder, has started his burnouts. It took a few minutes, but he's ready to light it up for the 5th time this season.
Crowder going to need to reinforce those trophy cabinets if this type of form is going to continue. And really had to do it as well. It was not the longest green flag run that we've seen. Obviously, the street course providing some seriously good overtaking opportunities. Drivers having to make the most of those opportunities. But in the end, it wasn't all down to pace. It was all down to being able to make the best of those opportunities. As we're seeing here, another opportunity. The top 3 trying to sneak through. This is going to be a wild moment in slow-mo as well.
Yeah, this was nearly disaster in the case for Ricky Paz, but he's able to straighten it up. There was air between the two of them. There's still amongst your top 3. Take the time to speak with your race winner first things first. As we stand by at Sofa News Victory Lane, it's Ashton Crowder, who comes away with win number 5. My goodness, Ashton, I don't think you were expecting the way this race would have gone to get to this point. But how would you describe the roller coaster emotions with the demolished race car?
Is it demolished?
The back end is demolished, yes.
Wait, are you guys showing it right now?
Not at the moment, but I can tell you this. Both sides of the Ford Racing are crumpled. Now it's on the live.
Okay.
And the spoiler is bent out. Both sides of the rear bumper have air going through it. In our words,
no.
the car is demolished.
Okay. Wow. All right, I'm looking. Oh, geez. Okay. Yeah. So when the wreck happened, I got like the notification thing, or I got the spotter call of like, oh, that aero damage is really going to hurt you. And I was like, uh-oh, this is gonna be bad. So I thought about the fast repair because I still had that, but I was like, nah, like if I pit now, it's over, right? So I kind of checked up from the field and then tried to run turn 2 like I would in the race, and it just almost like spun out. I'm like, okay, this is really bad. So at that point I'm like, I don't know what kind of damage I actually have, and yeah, but once we started getting going there, I had like, I don't know what the net gain would be, but like it was hurting me by probably about a half a tenth or so in the right-handers, but like I was picking up speed in the left-handers. So it made, like, the damage made me faster on that last run, which I thought was really interesting. So seeing what the damage looks like now, I'm just a bit confused why it was only good in the left-handers, but I suppose we'll never know. I forgot what your original question was, but yeah.
I mean, that's about the lines of the question philosophy. That's important to know, absolutely, in terms of the speed, absolutely here tonight. But overall, your feelings about the racetrack in general for this series here this evening with the way the setup clicked for that 44 car.
Yeah, I mean, we ran this last night in the truck series, and that drove really poorly, honestly. So I wasn't looking forward to this too much, but as soon as I got in the session and started turning laps on it, I was like, man, like, I don't know if Matt Holden builds the setups anymore, but if he does, shout out Matt for that, because this fixed setup was amazing. And it drove like it drove more like a real car does than typically with the fixed setups, because they always have, like, not to get too nerdy here, but like the fixed setups, like the aero balance isn't always right on them. So like teams in real life typically will run like an insane amount of rake, because like well, especially the teams that are like further in the back, because like they care more about just gaining that downforce that they're losing to the front teams than they do about the drag or anything. So it just kind of makes the cars like kind of inherently tight. But like the cars in the sim are like really trimmed out for some reason typically. So I don't know what the goal is there, but that's typically how they are, and they don't really drive too well. But this, like, the aero balance on it felt really good. There's a lot of ballast in it that probably helped. But yeah, like the aero balance felt good. The front tires felt in the track the whole time. You could really make judgments on where your rear tires were, and I feel like that's something that I always do a good job at, is knowing like how my rears are working and like how to save them and stuff, and and with that, like being able to save them better. And I had that field like times 10 essentially with this compared to what we normally have. So yeah, that was all really, really cool. But this track is really fun. It's dangerous to the PC. The frames don't run too high here, but everything else is really great. And I wish it was Chicagoland. I can't remember if we're gonna race there in the future, or if they already did, or whatever that was. I think they already did, but anyways.
Yes.
I wish it was Chicagoland, but this place is still cool, and to be able to win last night and tonight, I think is a true blessing. So yeah, I'm really happy with it.
First opportunity to try and get the sweep tomorrow, but also importantly, there's an opportunity with your quest for the championship, because coming into tonight, you got above the cut for the chase, and now you're picking up spots rapidly here. How do you feel about that opportunity here, with you coming in so quickly and immediately charging past the vast majority of the field to be above the cut, with now 4 races to go after tonight until the chase?
I think in terms of like chance I have to do well in it, I think pretty good. I got the Virginia Tech Hokies on the card tonight. Made a little switch up. I don't know who just said yuck, but you better not say that again. That's all I'm gonna say.
That
but
was
anyway,
our producer.
Yeah, so y'all didn't hear that, but he just said something crazy. All right, he just said yuck. Okay, horrible. Can't be saying that, right? But anyways, so we got them on the car. Well, we started school back like August something, and I got an interview for a couple positions before that. So I'm not exactly sure if I'm gonna be able to race. Definitely, I don't think I'll be able to race the trucks. That falls on a really weird day. I think I might be able to do this, but like my schedule before the start of the summer, I mean, like somebody sent me a message and said that I'm on my computer too much, and I'm like, this is the most I've been on my computer in 5 years. I like never would be able to get on before the summer. So yeah, so we'll see. I really hope I can run, because it's fun, and it's not fun because I'm winning. It's just fun in general. There's a lot of really respectful guys in here, and like the racing tonight, I mean, like, talk to Trent here in a second. Like, he was amazing. And he had me sweating more than I typically sweat. And I already sweat a ton, so that was one thing. And and like Ricky, same way. Michael Schumacher, like the whole field was good, really. So yeah, I mean, I hope I'm able to. Long story short, but we'll have to see with the school and work schedule going forward.
Any shout you'd like to give here tonight?
Oh yeah, we're gonna go down the list real quick. We got Triumph NIL, Midas, Clark's, CW and Sons, the Hokie Club, Mac Door Systems, our boy James Franklin, right? I know I told Morgan this, but I've dapped him up 2 times, all right? And I'm not trying to brag, but that's 2 more than my girlfriend Ava, who just got back from France, has been able to do. And segue to that, shout out Ava for getting on a train today after an 8-hour flight and riding that train from New York City to Boston. That probably wasn't that comfortable, but at least it's Amtrak and you can live your life. And then Zach, he was helping, had a little unfortunate incident there, which I got on him about. So hopefully it was actually his fault and I won't feel as bad. But if it's not, I'll own up to being a jerk. And then you guys for the broadcast, whole league, take up too much of your guys' time, but yeah, just really appreciate it.
Congratulations on the win tonight, Ashton.
Thank you.
Ashton Crowder gets the job done here tonight. Second spot went to, making it his first appearance here this season, last year's B Open Official Series champion Trent Dinkle. On fill-in tonight, he's with James.
Well, Trent Dinkle, congratulations on P2. Welcome to the MRL.
Thank you.
Obviously, showing some serious pace there for Team Conti. How was it out there from your perspective?
Well, it was a lot different than I was expecting. This is probably the first time I've run a fixed setup race in 2-3 years now. So I just hopped on last night, did a couple laps, make sure I knew how to get around this place still. And Ashton was, I thought I had something for him the first like 3 laps, and then all of a sudden he was gone, and I was like, holy cow. And then, I wrecked in 7 or whatever, which is probably one of the first times I've ever wrecked at Chicago. But, and then that just put me in the back having to drive through, and yeah, it was definitely a race.
There were around 25 or so participants in this race, and yet you had to overtake about 40 cars, it seemed, having to try to go from the back to the front. How was that in terms of racing around the streets of Chicago trying to overtake cars?
I mean, it's hard because there was like a 10-second spread from like Ashton to the last place car in speed wise, and I mean that's hard to be safe. Obviously, I'm probably only here this one time, and I don't want to be wrecking a bunch of people. So you kind of have to, I don't know, you just have to be super careful, and sometimes it's hard to be careful because there's only a few spots you can pass, and the corner speeds are so slow that everybody is kind of even coming out of the corner. So really your only chances are just trying to outbrake people or catch them off guard, which is, I passed a lot of cars through the last section. I would just peek out when they would hit the brakes and get on their inside, and then yeah, it's a fun track when you're leading, but when you're in the pack, I don't know if it's all that fun.
Last couple laps to go in the race. We saw Crowder get around the outside of Ricky Paz on that tricky section into 8 and 9. We saw you get down the inside as well. Tell us about that moment.
Yeah, I thought I was there enough for him not to turn in, and then it looked like it was just a ton of net code. Obviously, I think just being able to get your nose there to have their spotter call inside is probably going to get them to get out of the corner, and they're already in such a weird spot through that fountain section on the outside that should be able to come out ahead, but unfortunately the net code kicked him in front of me, and I mean, you either stop and we're both stuck there, or I just keep going and push him back straight a little bit. So definitely was not trying to hit him. I would have been fine finishing third, but Netcode's gonna netcode.
You may have already answered this question here technically, but we'll be seeing more of you in the MRL, in the Casual Glass Company series. We've got Iowa Speedway coming up. Can I tempt you to stick around?
I don't know. River wanted me to do the cup race tomorrow, but I haven't drove the cup car in a long time, even though it used to be the only car I drove. But I may come back for some more road races if River's gone or wants me to fill in. I mean, it's a nice change of pace. I haven't done a league race in forever as well, so it was fun to change things up a little bit.
Anybody you'd like to shout out here tonight?
Just everybody in the, everybody that puts us on. It seems like a pretty well-run league. Thanks to River for asking if I wanted to do it. And it was a fun race with Ashton, so it was good.
Well, congratulations on P2 there, Trent.
All right, thank you.
Once again, an interesting one popping up here tonight for Dinkle. Makes an appearance here in this series tonight in the MRL. Third spot tonight went to Ricky Paz. Ricky had a good opportunity to try and get another win after picking up the win in the Cup Series last week. Ricky, talked us through the final moments there as you were one of the drivers rolling the dice on strategy.
Yeah, I mean, I thought we'd try and do something different. I mean, I don't run for points here, so I'm just... Jonathan called me up. He said, hey, look, we have an open seat. Don't want to run the road course. Come run it for us. I said, all right, I'll come do it. Figured we'd try and flip stage 1, see if we could learn anything about tomorrow's race. Didn't work out for us with the caution. Almost died there on lap 9 or something. It was a complete track blocker. Survived that, then got into another one with the 81 when he was rejoining off of turn 7. Survived that one, and then was battling for the lead, smacked the wall, had more damage, and towards the end I thought, well, I should just do whatever Ashton does and try and race him. Didn't quite work out that way. I don't know if I just my brain froze when he pitted, and I was like, all right, well, I guess we're staying out now. This is the cards we've been dealt, and truthfully, it turned out to be the best move for us. We avoided that wreck that happened on lap 39, stayed out in front of it, and then it's just management to the end, trying to stay into the podium positions, earn some points for this 91 team and Jonathan Giacari, and we'll see what we learned from today and take it to tomorrow.
It's going to be an interesting one, to say the very least, with the Cup car. You mentioned the expectations coming in. So how do you feel the handling of that car is going to be for this weekend, for tomorrow night? I know there's been a lot of data for the car.
Yeah, I do think that, the O'Reilly's car here, it's a lot more prone to require a manhandling type of driving style, right? We're letting the rear end step out. We're kind of driving it deep into the corners and hoping that it sticks. The Cup car is more like where I come from on the open wheel IndyCar side of things. You've got to really think about how you're approaching each corner, and I do think that I'll do a lot better in the Cup car than I did in the O'Reilly's car today, so I'm looking forward to tomorrow. But yeah, good practice today to try and learn some strategies and just get reps at the track.
Any shots you'd like to give here today?
Thanks to the production team and Justin and James in here, and Green Flag TV, V Speed, all the partners we have. Caswell Glass, thanks to them. Thanks to Votive Racing and Shane Coker and my spotter, who will be here tomorrow. John Stellard, teammate Indy Kirchenbauer. Just a lot of great people on the iRacing side that support us, and thanks to the Sim Gaming Expo. Thanks to my wonderful fiance and the family, and I'm looking forward to trying to go 2 for 2 next week. Or not tomorrow. The work's cut out for us. There you go.
Congratulations on the run tonight.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Ricky Paz rounds out our top 3 discussions. I'd like to take the time to thank everyone who takes the time to speak with us here this evening here on Green Flag TV. Your final thoughts on tonight here, James, as this was definitely an interesting one.
I will get in an internet fight in the comments if somebody says this is not a good track. I may lose that fight, but I'm willing to fight that fight. Excellent racing. Some fantastic moves. We had a couple of incidents, unfortunately, as well. We had a car park at the far side of the circuit, as you can see, that little fountain section. But for the most part, fantastic strategy calls as well, and it kept me on the edge of my seat the whole time.
It's going to be an interesting one. Next time out for this series, the drivers will change up the gears to short track racing. Iowa Speedway is the destination for a race on July the 16th. That coverage will start at 8:30-ish Eastern Time. Green flag around that point. But until that mark, it's time to say goodnight for this evening's coverage here of the MRL in the Caswell Glass Company Series. I'd like to thank everyone for tuning in for tonight's coverage. For our co-announcer James Newman, for our producer and Dustin Owens, I'm Justin Prince saying so long. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Congratulations to Ashton Crowder, your winner from Chicago. We'll see you next time when we race in cornfields.